Welcome to Live Edge, episode number next. Tonight, we have our special guest, Chris from A Glimpse Inside. If you haven't seen his channel, there's a link in the description below. You can go click that and subscribe to him. My name's Matt.
I'm Amy.
And this is 731 Woodworks Live Edge.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, my goodness. So let's go ahead. We don't have any mail calls to do, but let's go ahead and do our spotlight. And I want to talk about the spotlight this time. So go ahead and I sent it to you.
I got you. I'm finna pull it up. I'm finna pull it up.
So
Here it comes.
This post was actually posted by Brianna Hernandez, but it was created by her husband, Nelson. She posted it because she was so proud of what he made her. Y'all check that out. That is all
amazing.
wood. That is phenomenal. When I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, I
Look
screenshot
at the talent. God, that's awesome.
So cool. So
that is awesome.
Great job, Nelson, and thank you, Brianna, for posting that and giving a shout out to your hubby.
That was, that's really good.
I'm repping my hubby tonight.
Oh man.
Yeah, you're not repping me. Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes.
Even if you don't.
Even if you don't. So anyway, go ahead and drop those states. We will give you a shout out toward the end of the show. And go ahead and bring Chris on.
Alrighty.
Get to it. I think Stephanie's ready. To bring Chris on.
I got him muted. Hold on.
Yeah, bring him on there.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
Good. This is Chris.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. This is Chris from A Glimpse Inside. Chris, just tell us just a brief little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a husband, father of three. Been in the maker scene probably for about 10 to 12 years. Was a retail Publix manager for a lot of years, about 23. I did a recent video where I told the community I was going full time, and now I'm a full-time content creator here on YouTube. It's a bit of a challenge to really accept the fact that I get to love what I do. It's kind of crazy. But I consider myself very lucky, very fortunate. And it's been a pretty wild ride, to say the least. Going from a one-car garage, of course, in a home that was only 900 square feet, to living in an apartment, to putting all the tools away, getting married the second time. Okay. But, the fact is, Lord works in great ways, man, I tell you. And here we are. At the end of the day, I'm in this shop here, and it's been a long journey. It definitely some divine intervention, but it's you got to put the work into, definitely for
That's
sure.
Right.
But,
yeah, hard work.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, good luck and hard work go hand in hand, don't they? It seems like it. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I did not understand what Brother Riv is saying.
Where's he at?
He's here from. Oh no, I'm not reading that, Brother Riv. Anyway. So, Chris, what has been the scariest part of going full time?
The scariest part really is knowing that I tell people it's kind of like I used to be on a team, right? I was contingent upon the team's success. Every player did their part, but it was a pretty safe environment. At this point, I'm going to use like a sports analogy here. I went from being, say, on a 53-man roster to being a PGA Tour professional. So like a PGA Tour professional is only as good as his next swing or her next swing. And if you don't put forth the effort to keep yourself in the right mind shape, and great, I'm not in the best shape, but I'm not on tour. The fact is that, you're only as good as your next shot, man. And we, as you know, we're only as good as our next video performs, or our next, what's the good word? It's how our audience is relating to us. Now we have a responsibility now, much more so than we used to have a huge team of people. In our case, 100,000+ people that we have to relate to now. That before I had a team of people of maybe 20, right? Wasn't that big a deal. But that's been the scariest part, is knowing that, hey, I don't have a team to depend on anymore, that in case I don't make a good shot, they're going to go ahead and score for me anyway. Right.
Right.
That's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
And of course we took this leap, and I had 13 years in law enforcement, and that's in the bank, and I can draw that when I'm like 65 or something. But as far as anything, it's like, there's no backup plan. Like, it's got to work.
Right.
It's scary, coming from.
It is.
We gave up full paid insurance for us and all three kids, and you know, now we have not a very good insurance through my job, not near as good, and we have to pay for it. It's a scary deal, you know, that steady
Yeah.
paycheck, and
But it is so much fun. It is so much
It
fun.
is. It's fun. It's a little weird. Honestly, I'm still kind of in the freshman stage of going through this. I don't want to ever wish my life away, but it would be nice to see where I'm at in 5 years.
Becca
Lord
Mayberry,
willing, everything goes well.
Becca
Right.
Mayberry commented. She said, "Y'all are living the dream, even if it feels like you're even
you can't.
even if taking the leap feels like a nightmare." That's true.
It is true.
That's true. That is very true.
There's a song out right now called "Say I Won't," and in it says, you know, basically I've spent my life driving 35 when I've had a rocket inside, you know,
Yeah.
and
Right.
sort of what it's like. And so I think sometimes when you start driving the rocket and you're used to coasting at 35, that it's going to be really scary until you figure out, until you can navigate that, you know.
Right. Right. And you realize the vehicle you're actually in can take that speed.
That's right.
Yes, absolutely.
4321 Woodworking wants to know, how long have you been full time in content?
Man, it's only I posted the video, last week. It's been about 8 weeks.
Oh, okay, good deal.
Maybe 9, something like that.
So I went in May.
So I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what to say.
Yeah. Hey, that's fine. I've been we're about the same length of time, because I went about the middle of May is when my last day was. I was off the books June 4th, but my last day at work, at real work, was like May. I don't even know the date. Middle of May.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, mine was sometime in April as well. And maybe 3 months. I don't know. It feels like it's been a week.
It goes quick. And here's the thing: like, do you edit your own videos, or somebody else doing it?
It does. Yeah. Everything you see is done by me, and I've been doing it the same way since day one.
Yeah.
The Cliff Notes version of that is that I was building a farm table, and my wife's like, "Why don't you film it and get on YouTube? All you do is watch YouTube now. That's all you do. You go and you watch these, like, the rest of the guys and whoever." And I was only watching like 3 or 4 people, and I said, "That's crazy. I don't have a DSLR camera. I don't have a Mac. I'm not going to do that." She's like, "Give me your phone. There's got to be an app that that you can edit from." And there it was. I mean, I edit on the same software I downloaded 5 years ago.
That's
and
awesome.
I film on the. I mean, a lot of people film on their phone now.
Oh, yeah.
Huge channels are built on phones alone, which is great. But it's nice to be able to edit on the go wherever I am.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
See, I had no clue he was putting things on YouTube at first. I was the total opposite of that. But it sounds like your wife is a very smart woman and very supportive. So that's awesome.
Yeah. And she'll want credit for it too. I'm like, "Hey, I got 100,000 subscribers." She goes, "See, aren't you glad I told you?"
That's right.
There you go.
Hey, if you're anything like me, I wouldn't be sitting here without her, and you wouldn't be sitting where you're at without your wife. I mean, it's
for sure.
You have to work together and support each other, no matter what the dream is, whether it's her dream, your dream, or our dream. Together, it has to work together.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what so far has been, wait, let me ask you one question. Somebody wants to know what you use to edit on the phone.
Oh, it's an app called Video Shop. It's a paid app. It's either monthly or yearly. I actually got grandfathered in. I bought it for $3 5 years ago, and now the pro version is like $100. But it's a little orange icon with a white camera, and it is. I've messed with Final Cut on a computer once or twice, and it is like Final Cut for your mobile device.
Oh, cool.
You can do a lot with it, and I don't even use it to its full potential. So it's a ton of awesome features there.
Good deal. So far, what has been your favorite project you've ever made?
Man, I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't say I got a video where I made my son pop into thin air one time. Of course, awesome. That's like, I gotta say that one. But we're talking, I would say, a non-sentient life form project. It varies. I want to say the farm table I made for the March of Dimes was a really great project in terms of fulfillment, and also I love how it came together. We took shipment of a dishwasher, a big old dishwasher, and it came palletized and wrapped with all kinds of wood and pine and all kinds of dimensional lumber that was just junk. And I said, you know what? We're in the process of donating or asking our customers for a March of Dimes donation. And sure enough, I said, let me see what I can do. And what I'll do is I'll build a table and then I'll raffle it off. Only I couldn't raffle it to the customers, so I had to raffle it to the associates. And people would buy tickets for $5 and their name would go in. And we ended up making around $750 for that table, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
And that money went to the March Dimes. That was kind of one of those projects where it's more than just making something and selling it. It was just taking trash and making something that was going back to the community. And yeah, that's a no-brainer. That's a great project. But if I had to pick one that didn't have like a sentimental value too, again, years ago on the channel, I made a desk lamp where I encased 2 cicadas in resin. And it is the craziest looking thing on the planet. And I still got it. It sits on my desk today. And it is just wild. And as people come over and go, what in the world is that, dude? I'm like, well, why watch the video?
So I have a question for you.
That's kind of fun.
Not really a question.
Yeah.
I want you to do me a favor real quick. So I've got a viewer on right now. His name is Josh Mack. He's going into 8th grade this year. He's one of my students. And hey, Josh, he says hey to me.
Okay.
He is a future woodworker. He's not a future. He's already woodworking. So what would you tell someone that age who is already dabbling, because he's what's it called? Carving. He's doing really great.
Yeah.
So what kind of advice would you give someone like him, an 8th grader?
Okay. At that age, I didn't do anything at that age making wise. Okay. But my advice, I'm going to relate this to, I was a drummer back then. I still am, but I started playing drums at like 12 years old, 11 years old. And I used to compare myself to the professionals that I was listening to. And I would beat myself up a little bit. So what I ended up doing was I started recording myself and listening to previous songs that I would play, and then only compare myself to myself. So in that sense, I wouldn't I would definitely aspire to be or look up to and admire their work. But I would definitely compare yourself to your own past work. And is it better? Are you growing in that regard? That way you don't get discouraged. And don't ever, even at that age, dude, even at that age, don't ever, I mean, I'll talk to anybody. Don't ever be afraid to reach out to anyone in this community. I've got a lot of friends in this community who I never thought in a million years would even, talk to me, because I had like 14 subscribers, and nobody cares about that. We just care about the craft and how much you're doing, and we like to keep in touch. So, yeah, there you go. That's my advice for you.
The one thing I've learned about the woodworking community that that we've been part of is that the people are absolutely amazing. What's wrong?
I'm just turning this up here.
Okay. The people are just that, they've been wonderful, and I consider them my family. We talk outside of this. We talk about each other's kids and
we've made some amazing friendships.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just based on the channel and based on just, social media, Instagram, Facebook, all that. But like, you just make amazing connections on here.
Absolutely. Right. So Josh, I hope you heard what he said, and I hope you understood that, because I think that you're growing as a worker too.
So I can go back, like, I'm sure you're the same way. I can go back and look at videos I made 6 months ago. I'm like, I could do better. But you just try to make yourself 1% better every time. Like, doesn't matter if you're making stuff out of wood or if you're making videos or whatever. Just 1% better every time.
Josh says,
Right.
asking me about. So Josh wants me to tell you what happened. He's a carver, and so right at the end of school last school year, he was carving something, and he came to school. He had stitches in a finger. And what he got cut from was not actually the knife or anything like that. The wood split and the wood cut him. So that's his. I let him know, Josh.
Lane Simmons says, "How do you?" I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. It's all good.
Lane Simmons says, "How do you convince your wife to let you go full-time woodworking? He's tired of being a cop."
Well, I mean, you gotta have an exit strategy for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
And my situation is a little different. I describe a little bit in the going to full-time video. My wife's dealing with some autoimmune chronic fatigue. I say some. It's pretty debilitating. It's like a thief in the night. It's kind of come and over the last 6-7 years. It's kind of taken. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. It's kind of taken her life away. And so I'm needed here. I got 3 beautiful kids. 2 of them are on the spectrum, and it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't my parents' job to raise my children. And
Right.
luckily enough, I've been afforded this income here. It's not great. I'm not like killing it. Okay, that's not the idea. With the support that I've built with my public retirement and what this has provided, and of course some channel sponsors that we have on board, I was able to do it. And I told my wife, I was like, this condition is only getting worse, it seems like, and I have to be home. And she just looked at me and she goes, I agree. Yeah, you do. Yeah. So I'm not the best guy to ask that question. How do you convince your wife? It's still different. But you know what? What's been awesome about this is I've had people message me since that video saying, hey, this is eerily similar to what we've been dealing with. You won't believe how many people have reached out and told me this. My husband, my brother, my mom, my son, it's unbelievable. It's like all of a sudden within about a few weeks, they seem to lose all motivation and just want to sleep all day.
Right.
And it goes on for years. And diet and exercise helps. Sometimes this thing has to run its course. One woman just reached out and said, hey, I remember those days. I said, whoa. What do you mean remember those days? What happened? How'd you fix it? Yeah. And she goes, well, mom was brought on by Epstein-Barr virus, blah, blah, blah. It took about 7-8 years. And eventually I just kind of prayed it out. I said, what? She goes, you got to ask. You got to say, help me. And eventually I just started feeling a little bit better. Started consuming fewer carbs. That helps a lot too. But it seems to just run its course. It's one of those things like it just kind of runs. And we're on year 7 right now with her.
Wow.
And so that gave us a little bit of hope that maybe this thing is about to, do its thing. Who knows? Either way, I'm full time and I'm happy for it.
It was the tip of the blade that cut Josh.
Oh, okay.
He told me. I was thinking it was the wood. Sorry.
That's all good. You know what else is scary sharp is like edges, man. You cut a piece of laminate, you cut a piece of melamine. I've been filleted open by that stuff. And
it'll get you.
Until yesterday, until last week, I've never been cut by a saw. And then long story short, I'll explain this in my next video how I veneered my finger off. But just a tip.
I was trying to help him install the Mr. Cool unit into the shop, and working in the shop, I'm not lying, I got 5 cuts on one finger in one area, but it was from a skateboard. So if you want to know how, you'll have to wait for the video.
I don't think it's on you. Well, I guess the skateboard
I bet
is,
it's
but
not.
the cut's
the
not.
skateboard's on. Yeah, the cut better not be on there. That little sucker hurt.
A skateboard.
Yes. See how that figures into the shop.
That's awful.
My oldest, if the skateboard belongs to our 24-year-old, and he said, why would you have the skateboard in the shop?
I tried to do some sweet tricks on it. She wouldn't let me.
Y'all, please.
Yeah. Some camera work, some camera panning as it goes down. Who knows?
It's probably a good thing she's with me all the time because I would probably hurt myself.
Yeah, so after he filmed this video, because I was in it for quite a bit, he looked at me when he was editing and he said, I'm like having another kid, aren't I? And I said, yeah, kind of. Yeah. It's okay, though, because I love him.
Jim Williams wants to know if you have a good pizza recipe.
Yeah, I do, actually. I would definitely buy fresh dough from your local grocery store. Make your own. I haven't made dough at home ever. I've made probably
I made homemade pizza yesterday.
Including rolls and mini loaves and hoagie buns and all that. I've probably made over 1 million different individual pieces of bread in my life. So I just don't do it at home, right? Mm-hmm. So the idea is the pizza recipe that I swear by has to do with what you put on after the sauce but before the cheese, right? And most stores have something called a Parmesan.
Oh, he broke up.
Bread dip seed that to dip the bread in. Okay.
And the
okay. So
say it again.
So most grocery stores have a Parmesan bread dip seasoning that you put in bread, or you put in oil to dip your bread in, like an Italian restaurant, right? That Parmesan flavored seasoning, okay, typically it's in the spice style or it could be in your baker's. That goes on the sauce before your cheese, and it totally changes the dynamic of the pizza. So it's like a dehydrated, herby, kind of Parmesan-y, like, you get it. It's different throughout the country, but if you live in the local 7 southern states down here, go to the bakery, say, I want some Parmesan bread dip seasoning, and they'll hand you a container and you can make all kinds of stuff with it.
That's
People
awesome.
are posting that the Publix pizza dough is awesome.
It is.
We love Publix. Like, I'm trying to already plan in my head what to get from Publix this weekend. Yeah.
So in your business now that you're full-time, are you also making and selling items, or are you just content?
So, yeah, I have a very small Etsy store right now. I finally have made some plans. I've got some CNC files, various things of that nature. Haven't had a whole lot of sales yet, maybe like 16 to 20 sales in the past month, I guess. But the idea is that really none of my people here, like on Facebook, my local network, knew that I was full-time until this video. Right. So I was trying to do some legwork and get some things in the channel worked out, family life worked out. But I would love to take on more commissions at this point. And I've got a few more products that I'm going to be coming out with here in the next month or so. And so people just got to wait for those, because I'm not sure exactly. I don't want to say anything here because I don't want to promise something here and not be able to deliver on it. So there's definitely going to be a few things in the works for that, just to kind of get another piece of the pie. Right. That's the idea.
That's kind of the avenue we're doing, is like multiple streams of income. You can't just depend on ad revenue.
You got a question there from 4321.
4321 says, you did say you watched a few YouTubers. Who are your favorites?
And do you ever watch that 731 guy? That's what he asked.
Yeah, I did from time to time. I definitely caught your viral video when it went with your 5 projects. But some of my favorite YouTubers, I mean, honestly, I watch a few makers, quite a few, when they release, like, immediately. Like someone like Frank Howarth or Jimmy DiResta. Even I like to make stuff, Bob. Of course, those ubiquitous guys you see all the time. I do watch their videos quite a bit. There's kind of some I'm not going to say off the wall stuff, but I typically gravitate on YouTube to things that aren't making. It's hard to explain, because, like I said, the reason I haven't made a loaf of bread at home is for the same reason that I'm not watching a ton of making on YouTube. But I watch car reviews. I would watch some cooking shows, and that's you got to get better ideas. I catch Good Mythical Morning every morning when it's on. Those
I used to watch that a lot.
Yeah, and of course, and again, there isn't a whole lot of TV watching in this world of mine per se. So I catch what I can, but I would say that I really, it just something has to just strike me. I have been watching lately. There's a guy called The Q. I mean, he's huge. He's big now. But he had a crazy video get like 100 million views recently, where he made a bike and the wheels were saw blades over ice.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. So he does everything in a real sterile environment, doesn't talk, real takes the minutia out of making, gives you the concise version of what it is. Crazy project, probably took 200 hours to make, and you watch it in 6 minutes.
Right.
A little bit of that's in that channel called Stuff Made Here as well, where the guy makes a basketball hoop that can't miss. Right. So those videos are kind of intriguing to me. I do like the ones that kind of, although I don't do it myself. I can spend 10 minutes talking about something that took me 2 minutes.
Right.
So who knows?
I like watching gross stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, she's that ASMR stuff. Like, she'll watch
like people like, you watch the Toe Bro?
What?
You watch the Toe Bro, the guy that gets out ingrown toenails?
Oh, I love watching those. Yeah. I love the ingrown toenails and the ear cleaning, but I can't do Dr. Pimple Popper, that kind of stuff. I can't do that. But I love the ear clean because it's clean in the end. I hate it when they leave you hanging and there's still junk in there. Yeah. I'm like, what?
Yeah. What are you doing? Yeah. Get the wasp.
I love that. I play that stuff for my students sometimes just to gross them out. Thank you, Stephen Kofed. He says, thanks, Chris, for your time tonight. And you've got a lot of people who are sending out prayers to you and your family.
Very much so.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
Thank you all.
Stephanie
Thank you all.
sent you prayers. Becca, got lots of them in there.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. The response to that video was overwhelming. I was just shocked.
We don't talk about it, but we have somebody in our family that's on the autism spectrum, and I saw the coolest thing. A couple days ago, as a shirt, it said that autism is not a disability; it's a different ability.
I like that,
and I thought that was the coolest. So I saw it, and it landed on my heart.
JK Canvas says, what advice do you have for an up and coming content creator? He has over 100 videos out, but still not taking off.
So, hey, what's up, Will? I know this guy. If I had to give if you got 100 videos and nothing's taken off yet, the format in which you are displaying those videos is not connecting with a mass audience. Not to say you got to find your niche, but what I said earlier about the cue means a lot for people's audience and attention. So if you have a video that you have a 5-minute clip of you talking and doing things, audiences on YouTube aren't going to gravitate to seeing that kind of video. They just aren't. They're going to want to. I'm not saying do jump cuts like Phil DeFranco all day. That's not what I'm saying. But be very deliberate and very respectful of your viewers' time, because I think in this instance, the videos, they might drag just a little bit. And Will, love you, buddy. I appreciate all the support, man. I think in your case, I would probably shorten them down a little bit and try to pack in more information. When you think you have a good clip, right? You're editing, you got to clip something, try to shorten it up a little bit and see if that nugget of information in that, and that's what you're trying to convey, is really all that matters. And then if it is, do that across the whole video, and you've got a video that keeps people's attention and gives them the same results of what you wanted them to learn.
Yep. So I'll take a video. So like I'll take, say, a build video. It may be almost 2 hours in length as far as the video content. You got to speed some clips up. You got to chop some up. So in 2 hours of video squeezed into about 8 to 10 minutes. And so you just I cut so much stuff out, and some of it I probably should leave in there, but I know that just look at your analytics. You can see if you study them, you can see where people start dropping off, and you're like, I need to stop doing that and try to just tweak it over time, 1% every time, 1% every time. And just because people, like you said, attention span, like camera movement, cuts,
everything.
Everything.
So one more tip.
Keeps people's attention, like anything.
So one more tip. So check this out. This is interesting. If you watch your analytics, if you're on YouTube, you'll notice when people start to drop off. You were saying your video kind of. All right. Sometimes in an analytics, you'll see the graph kind of go back up and go back up a little bit. You know what that is?
Yeah. They're either skipping to that or they're rewinding and watching it again.
Correct. So find out what that moment is, right? And try to replicate that as much as you can in your content,
right?
Because people wanted to see that again. Now, I've in my video, the one I just released about going full time, there's a big blip that goes up near the end of the video, like substantially. I'm like, what in the world are people going back to look at? Well, it was pictures of my wife. Because she's just not that present on the channel. So people were like, wait, that's his wife? Who is that? they red line back to it and they go, oh, okay.
You just need to replicate it.
Well, we did. We had a farm table build. The first video we ever did, really. She was the distressing painter in that video. And that's pretty much it, man. That was kind of.
JK, if you'll send me an email, 731woodworks@gmail.com, I'll check your stuff out and give you some advice too. Not that I'm an expert. Jeff already wants to know, what planer do you use, and if you upgraded, what would have your eye?
All right, you ready? There it is, right there. It's a Rikon helical head 13-inch cutter. It's great. I don't really have the need to upgrade, but if I did, I would probably go with the 20-inch Powermatic or Oliver. One of those, or Grizzly of some sort. Definitely in that cast iron, heavy. And the helical heads are great. honestly, yeah, they cut butter smooth, and you can change out bit by bit. But if one of them gets askew, man, they could put a pretty big gouge in your in your work. That's one thing people don't talk about too often about those helical heads.
Yeah.
But these hobbyist kind of 13 inches that are around anywhere between the $500 to $800 mark, those are well equipped to do a ton of stuff. So, yep.
Married Man wants to know, Married Man Woodworking, you have over 115,000 subs. Did you have a viral video that changed your life? And when did you know this YouTube business was going to work?
Well, okay. So I was just discussing with these guys before, Matt and Amy, the two videos that I have that are higher in views. Like I got a shop build video and a paver patio video. One's almost at 1 million, and the other is 1.4 million. It's kind of a shame that, to me, I'm embarrassed that my two top performing videos are projects I didn't make. So although, yes, I was the kind of host and the facilitator of those projects, and brought kind of a cool positive vibe, I think that kind of worked. Let me turn this off. Sorry, I was watching a feed. How did I know it was going to work? I really didn't, because in terms of true, something going true viral, the shop didn't quite do it all that quickly. I just remember within about a month's time, I had about 9,000 more subscribers. And that told me that people were coming into the channel. And that one video, you can go back and look and see how many subscribers that one video did. I'm not sure how many that brought into yours. If you go look at the lifetime of your video is 1.2 million, how many subscribers did that video bring in? My shop video brought in 22,000 subs as of right now.
Well, like so ours.
I just thought that, yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think it just keeps.
Oh, yeah, it's a little lag. That's all right.
Yeah.
So on the one,
it's a little lag. Yeah,
it's a lag.
Go ahead, man. You're up.
Hold on, because it's 7:32. Yep. We missed it 5 minutes, but you know what time it is?
It's power tip time.
And tonight, Chris is going to give you guys your power tips.
Ooh, buddy.
So we'll let you roll into that.
Okay. Yeah, I got two. All right. Oh man. Oh, thanks, Proverbs House. I recognize that name. Power tips. So the first one, I'm not one to give a bunch of whole shop safety advice because I wear flip-flops in the shop. They are steel-toe flip-flops, but they are flip-flops. I would say, and I commented this on a Rockler post one time, and they ended up featuring it, was to always trust your gut on everything you do in the shop. You have, as makers, we have an innate sense once we have, learned the tool pretty, just from after a few minutes, we have an innate sense of knowing when things are going to go wrong, and listen to it immensely. And so I think that's back away, freshen up, do whatever you got to do. Just listen to your gut. And the second one has to do with, again, going full time, right? And it has to do with making big decisions in your life. And I was telling them earlier about how I knew I was ready to pull this trigger to go full time, and how I trusted the fact that it was going to be okay. And that was whatever you believe in. I truly believe that God was there in the organization that I was in, and heard conversations I couldn't, and heard people's thoughts that I couldn't, and helped me make decisions that I never thought I could for the better of me and my family. And when you know you're convicted to do something, you just know it.
Yep.
And to know that if you get to the point where you're ready to go, don't second guess it, okay? Because you're already there. And this is a scary time for me, for sure. Going full time at this stage in life, but you know what? I trusted it, and I know beyond know that it's the right thing to do. But just think, when people are taken out of your life, or you are taken out of certain situations, somebody was looking out for you and heard things that you couldn't. And that's a powerful statement, I think.
That's good stuff, man.
I'm glad I already knew what his power tips were since I was out.
There was a car alarm going off for some reason or another. I don't know.
The dogs were going nuts. Car alarms going off. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand.
They were loving the fact that it was a double power tip tonight.
Yep, 2 power tips.
But somebody said that your power tip, JK Canvas said, power tip from Chris is always have CA glue on hand.
You know what? That's true. It's more of a tool than a glue for me. And that's kind of, at least I use it to kind of poke and prod and hold this and do that and, all kinds of stuff.
Craft Woodshop wants to know if you're using Pinterest to grow your woodwork or your YouTube channel.
What's Pinterest? I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. I've heard that it's a great place especially if you have like an Etsy store and you have products that you're trying to sell. Excuse me for a second. But again, it also, and this is, I've talked to, who was it? Ben Ueda one time at one of those Workbench Con. He said, I'm on Pinterest all the time. I have a lot of success there. And then he asked me, he was like, what's your male to female demographic on your channel? And I said, oh man, there's no chicks here at all.
Yeah.
But he said, okay, well, you might want to not worry about Pinterest then, just because, he's got about 50-50, and most of his Pinterest traffic is about 90% female, which is perfectly great. I just don't have that niche. I just, I haven't marketed myself, nor do I, I'm just not, I'm not in that realm.
Yeah.
I probably could be, and I probably should be.
Have
It's good
female
advice.
following.
Yeah, until the live stream, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's brought on a lot more female
viewers. But I
viewers.
like to think now that our female following is extremely strong and powerful.
I agree.
Yeah.
But on Pinterest, as far as Pinterest goes, at one time I was extremely active on there and was trying to share pins and post pins and all that stuff. And it was driving thousands of views to my website. Now, whatever that counts for, ad money on websites is hardly nothing, but it was something.
Right. It makes sense. I will say I've noticed I've got 9% female viewers, but I do notice more than 9% of the comments in most of my videos are from female viewers. I mean, I would think that, it's probably like around 15 or 20%.
I can't handle Pinterest. If I click on something and it takes me to Pinterest, I feel lost. And then I think I'm hashtagging, and then I'm like, the old lady in the commercial. And so, yeah. I can't.
And forgive me for having a little bit of a laggy connection here. My shop doesn't have the best Wi-Fi here, so we're gonna. Okay.
Well,
good.
We've had a car alarm go off and dogs barking.
It's live, man. And it's live.
One of our dogs just
ran into the
treadmill and hurt his leg, so it's just.
We was talking about that video taking off and driving subscribers. On ours, the top 5, we went from in August of 2020 from 20,000 subscribers in August to 100,000 subscribers by February of the next year.
It was really,
and it was because of that video. Like it skyrocketed.
Right.
I mean,
now elephant in the room. Elephant in the room. It seems like I've been looking at some social blades on some various maker channels that are well established, and some more so like mine and yours who haven't been there that long. I've been here a while, but the views on the DIY scene are not good lately.
It just depends. Well, I think a lot of what happens is you go in ebb and flow. But last year everybody was locked down, so they're all watching content. Right. You can see it. Yeah, I've talked.
Price of lumber's now up, and now they're ready to get back to work, and they're like, "I'm done with this for a minute." And so we're in that. We're definitely in that valley of the DIY segment of people being interested in it.
Like views are like across the board on anything we build. Our build videos are lower than other type videos. I've noticed. So like, everybody's like, "Why don't you?" So for a while, when I was working full time, I was like putting out a lot of talking videos because I didn't have time to build nothing. And I get comments. Well, build something. Shut up, build something. Stop talking. Just build something.
They literally said that.
Yeah, I mean, you know how it is. And so I just started. So I built something, and the views are nothing. I'm like, I thought you wanted me to build something.
Right. Well, you please that percentage of people.
Yeah.
It's I don't know if you guys know who Mitch Hedberg is, right? He's a comedian. You familiar with him? He's got a joke. He says, you can't please all the people all the time. And last night, all those people were at my show.
Absolutely.
So
thank you, Woodcraft.
It is, man.
16. Woodcraft. I said Woodcraft.
Nice. I mean, you gotta, and again, we gotta be careful. A lot of people say, make things for yourself and your audience will come, right? I mean, yes and no. You have to tailor something to your audience interests. Not everybody's going to be interested in the same thing you want. That's the Coda lamp didn't do all that great, right? And don't get me wrong, my most popular series are shop organization, French cleat, that kind of stuff, right? That's the kind of the bread and butter of what I build that does well. Or asking a question, is something worth it? Is it worth to do X, Y, Z? You know, is Kaizen foam worth it? But if I show like a tip or a trick on how to organize or do something in the shop with plywood, that's kind of expected. Now, I did add a CNC into the mix, and you would think some people would just say, you know, I don't know what your problem is, Chris. I'm out. Goodbye. I had a loyal viewer who was really nice for years, and I started doing a little bit more talking, a little bit less bigger projects because things were getting a little bit more challenging here at the house. Of course, nobody knew, and I was making smaller projects. I was, you know, and this guy, every video was like, "You're just not the same," and I'm about to be out of here. I mean, he was pretty vocal about it.
Yeah.
And he finally at one point said, "Okay, that's it. I'm done." And I was like, "See you later, man." Like, whatever. But it's funny how those affect you.
Well, we had a subscriber who we started doing the sawdust spotlight, and we let our daughter pick. She's young. She's more of an unbiased. Everybody on here knows her. We call her Mo.
Yep.
She's on here with us right now. She's on here with us every Tuesday night. She's also doing homework, so she's probably not listening very much. But she picks it instead of us, and she picks it from the Facebook community. And we had a loyal subscriber who commented on every show, who commented on every video, very supportive, who after the second, I think, Sawdust Spotlight, second or third, sent an ugly message to us saying, "I don't think it's fair how y'all are choosing Sawdust Spotlight." And it's just more to just give somebody some love.
Yeah.
And our moderators, actually, we had to have a conversation about her not too long ago because she contacted one of our moderators upset again about something else. And I have sent her very nice messages every time. And the last one I sent her, it was very nice. But I did say, you know, if you can't handle being in this, then maybe you need to leave the community. And she was like, unsubscribed, no longer this, no longer that, left the community. And I was like, okay, bye, Alicia. I mean, you know.
Yeah. You know, and that's the few. It's only the few. It really is only the few.
It's very, very few. Very few.
It really shocked me because she was such a, like, she was one of our members, and so she was in our members only when we would, you know, do that. And I don't know. Oh, Becca said the situation makes me laugh every time. Yeah, Becca's one of our moderators. We had a big old
discussion.
Yeah.
Dude Sawdust says, "How does the negative comments make you feel?"
This is a two-part answer, actually. First of all, any negative comment on anything that you put a lot of effort into is going to make you feel like, what, why? Like, I guess the easy word is it makes you feel bad, right? So you can just say that. But I will say a lot of negative comments are a person hiding behind some anonymity.
Yep.
And if you interact with them in a positive way, in a kindful way, a lot of times those conversations get steered into, "Hey man, I'm sorry I came off crass. I really watch everything you do, and it's really cool. You know, I'm just kind of over the CNC. Okay, all right, buddy, you got my support." Whatever it might be.
Right.
A lot of these people who are negative, just typically, like anything, negative attention is still attention.
Right.
And although you're not supposed to give in to negative attention with your kids, sometimes with your audience, it's okay because they just want to feel like they're part of the crew. And that's perfectly okay. I think negative comments need your attention. I think every comment needs your attention for sure. But those may not be as bad as you might think once you dive in.
I have had those.
Yeah, sometimes it's just somebody.
Sometimes you misread what they're trying to say too. Like they'll say something and you're like, "What? No, wait. What do you mean?
Keyboard war.
Right.
And then when you reply, you're like, "Oh, okay. Now I see what you're saying. You weren't being ugly at all."
Exactly. Now I get some pretty negative comments on other comments I leave on other channels.
Yeah.
Now that sounds weird, but I was a watcher and observer before I was a creator.
Right.
Right. So I would comment on like Good Mythical Morning videos.
Mm-hmm.
And you won't believe how many people hate the fact that you have a check mark next to your name when you comment on a bigger channel.
Really?
Because you're verified and like they think it gives you more clout. I mean, I commented one time on I think it was a Mark Rober video. I think I'm wearing one of his shirts. I mean, I really do love this guy. I mean,
Yeah,
the fact that
he's got awesome.
I was watching his content for forever, and then I mean, the fact that we have a little bit in common is pretty cool. But long story short, it was a video where he had a mechanical foot kick a football.
Yeah,
and I was just like, holy mackerel, Mark, you can actually kick a decent field goal. The comment got like 30,000 likes or something crazy. And I was like, people were like, you only got this because you verified, blah, blah, blah. Whatever.
I think I've had people tell me before, the more successful you are and the more changes you're making, the more you're going to receive hate from people. But a lot of times that hate is coming from not a place of hate, but more of a place of envy sometimes, or a place of desire to want to do something and they're not doing it. Maybe, maybe that person's doing what they want to do and they just haven't figured out how to get there. And so, you know.
I remember feeling those feelings too. We all feel them. All feel them.
Right.
I remember being an early creator thinking, this is just not going to work.
Right.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm seeing people who enter the space with the same amount of subscribers. We're talking like, we both, I'm not going to name these creators because they're still here, but we both entered the space around the same time, and now they're over 1 million, and I'm not. And so there is some of that feeling, and now I have people who are, a fewer number that I have that probably have the same feeling about me, and that's kind of, it's just how it works.
Right.
It's just how it works. You gotta keep it to yourself and use it as fuel to make yourself better for sure. Instead of just spouting off, saying what you want.
That's right. It's I think it's just human nature. You're looking at the next level. You're like, man, I want to be there. And then you got people that's just starting that's doing the same thing.
He's told me before. He's like, man, this YouTuber. He'll tell me a name. He's got 1.5 million subs and did this on the. Can you imagine that? And I've told him before. I said, at one time you couldn't imagine having over 100,000 and getting a play button. I said, what are you going to do one day when somebody else is out there saying, hey, have you seen this 731 Woodworks? They've got over 1 million subscribers. I want, it's not that somebody can't do it. It's just going to take a whole lot of work. It
takes time and work.
It takes time. It takes work. And it takes a little bit of want to, even when you don't want to,
Yeah. That's probably that's a great statement for this space. I never thought going full time would ever be a reality, but it is now.
Either.
Yeah.
And it's
a year ago.
I thought once I did this full time, I thought, man, I'm just going to be out here doing all kinds. Well, your time gets divvied up differently.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't have my mother or my mother-in-law coming to watch my children, be with them when I'm at work. So it's just I try to put out a video a week. I've always tried to do that. Really not so much early in my career because I just couldn't. I just didn't have time to do the content. But it's just you got to do it even when you think you can't.
Exactly.
One foot in front of the next all day.
I love him being a stay-at-home Iggy daddy, so I'm not going to complain about that at all. Our Italian greyhounds, we call them Iggies. They enjoyed his new position at home. If only we can make them, employee of the month now.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
I've been trying to get employee of the month since I went full time and ain't got it yet.
Sort of.
So, what's the next big project on your list? Do you have anything planned?
Well, I mean, it's not big. I don't know if you can see it in this stream or not. There's a couple things for the football season coming up. I've got what's up, Zafar? How you doing, buddy? I've got a cornhole set I'm making, and the entire surface is made of feed corn. So it's a cornhole set made of corn, which is kind of interesting. But it's going to be bordered with walnut. It's going to be nice, but it's going to be a little shocking. Looks a little weird. But also I'm trying to come up with an ultimate drill charging station that holds pneumatic tools as well. And it's going to be the most concise design that holds. I mean, we're talking about battery clips, female ends for all your pneumatic tools to go into, a space for everything in the smallest footprint possible. So I've got that. I'm designing that as we speak. And I'm hoping that's going to be a pretty be-all, end-all for everything portable.
That is completely different from what Dude Sawdust said your next big project was.
What did he say?
A fourth child.
Oh no, that's I got no what's the word? I got no shame in saying it. That's impossible for me to have another child.
Yeah, three was my limit.
Yeah, had 3 and went and saw my doctor and said I want no more. He said, okay, we can do that.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not a possibility for me either, which means it's not a possibility for him.
Correct. Now, if my wife has another child, then I'm out.
Might be a problem.
The last time, of course, I haven't been able to have kids in 20 years, something like 19 years. He's 19. Oh gosh. But a few years ago, I was really, really, really wanting a baby. So I don't know where he thought I could go from there, but he got me a dog to pacify me. And I'm thinking, okay, yay for the dog, but I can't have a baby. So, I mean,
Married Man Woodworks wants to know, what do you think of green doors and pocket holes? Told you.
Well, my daughter's favorite color is green, so I'm okay with green doors. And I can't, pocket holes have their place. A lot of times they're out of sight. And pocket holes, it's funny. I think the Craig jig came out when? In the 90s?
I have no
idea. But pocket holes have been used in furniture for a long time. Commercial applications, you see them maybe in the 70s and 80s. You look at furniture manufacturers back then, but they just kept them hidden from us all the time. They're okay. They have their place. I wouldn't say I would try to glorify them all the time. I don't use them a whole lot. When I make a cabinet, I hardly ever do pocket holes in the cabinet. I mean, I do sometimes because I've got different situations where I don't want to drive a fastener in from the other side.
Right.
You get it. But typically, if I'm okay with a couple nail holes, really, and glue and brads I use as much as possible. So
I got a little pin nailer recently. Brother Riv actually sent it to me, and I use that thing all the time now.
That thing is awesome. They're a little scary because they can fire without pressing down the nozzle. Yeah. They can just fire out bullets everywhere.
What? No, Brother Riv, he's not responsible enough for that. Seriously?
Oh, you didn't know?
No.
We got targets for it.
You better
target practicing.
Oh my gosh.
Tell me about that bandsaw behind you.
Lord help.
It's a Laguna 1214. Is that right? A 1412. It's I've got 2 bandsaws. I've got an old Delta from the 80s or 70s. That's my really thin blade for tight curves. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. 1990. And that big bandsaw is just made for resawing. That's what I use it for. Of course, you can put whatever blade you want on it, but I'm really trying to get into resawing hardwoods and making thicker veneers on various things. I got a table coming out. I'm trying to get this one out Friday of a new end table that I designed on the CNC, but I made my own edge banding and I made my own veneers of walnut to go on the top and book matched them as best I could, of course. Veneering book matching walnut for me and my Green Acres plywood self is a little different, but we're trying it out and I think it's going to work out pretty well. And I'm only able to do it because of that bandsaw right there. I mean, I got it for that reason. So
yeah, that's one of the tools on my list to buy is a bandsaw. I would like to get, so I just ordered a Laguna dust collector because I have not had dust collection up to this point. When I put the air conditioner in, I was like, I got to have something. I don't want to raise that door for nothing.
The air conditioner, man, I'm telling you, I'm going to build a J Bates style filter box above it. I haven't done that yet, but you need to do it quick because if you don't, you can go in our wood shops here. You can go 2 weeks, and that thing will clog on you so quick,
really?
And it will start hemorrhaging water out of the condensate plate that is stuck in the line. And I've had it leak down those plywood walls like 4 times just because I didn't change the filters fast enough. And one time it happened in like 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
was like, what in the
keep an eye
world,
on
man?
that.
So yeah.
I was wondering how Justin knew that. Justin said that you can get out of the doghouse. They've already put you in the doghouse, but by wearing a white T-shirt.
You said it like on one live stream or something ago.
I don't remember. I do love you in a white T-shirt though, so I don't know.
Yeah. So I was looking at mine. I didn't put it low enough. I don't think for the J-bait style. I'm gonna have to modify that just a little bit to make it work. But yeah.
Oh, is it close to the ceiling? I saw a picture of it on Instagram.
It's about 18 inches away from the ceiling.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think I can still modify it.
I hope Justin said you and I were flirting 2 weeks ago. Oh. Okay, that completely makes sense then,
But yeah, I got the dust collection, and I also picked up the air filtration thingamajigger. But I think that I saw that Easy Swan he compared those things to a fan with a just a filter
stacked up on it.
Yeah, it worked just as good. So I probably wasted my money on that, but who will?
Okay, so Matt Cook says the two of you are one of the biggest reasons he went into business. Thank you both. Keep up the good work and the awesome advice.
Thank you, Matt.
Awesome. Yeah, you're welcome, Matt. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
4321 says that they remember everything.
I believe that.
Oh, I got to be careful.
For sure.
Brother Riff says, tackle me now.
After the show.
So,
I'm going to tackle them and take that tool away from them is what I want to do.
She don't even know which one to pin nail
is. I can Google it.
So hey, I got a couple questions for you, man.
All right, go ahead.
So in terms of like, you're full time now, your schedule. You asked me about projects on the horizon. Is there anything project wise as a content creator that you just want to do off camera? Don't want to film it. I just want to get in there and just build it. But you always feel guilty because it was an opportunity. So what is that project that you just want to do that you don't know if it's going to go over well or not, but you just don't want to be bothered with the filming process? Because I got a couple of those.
You didn't film my coffee house stuff.
Coffee house? What you talking about?
My coffee.
Yeah, I made a few things for their classroom that I didn't film. And when I made those, I even told her, I was like, it was just so nice to build it because I like making videos. I really do. I enjoy the editing process too because it's like I get to remake what I've already made. Right. But it's a lot of work because you got to figure out, okay, well, I got to talk about this point, then I got to put the camera angle at this point, and then I got to set this camera up, and I got to move this camera because I don't want to get dust on it, and then its lens, and then, it's just a whole process. It takes a lot longer to build something than when you're trying to film it than it would just go make it. So
I would say it doubles the time.
Yeah, everyone is saying the nightstand is what you want to build.
Mo's nightstand. I'm gonna build her a nightstand someday.
I don't believe him, and none of us believe him. 4321 says that they remember everything. How long has he been saying this?
It's on the list. I have a list. I have a long list.
He does sometimes say though, certain things he wouldn't want to do a video for, just because he feels like it's something that wouldn't really get any views.
Yeah, normally. I mean, I do pick and choose what of course, I'm building now. I'm not making commission builds, so I'm building for the channel. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm more focused on, okay, what will draw more attention and also what will benefit somebody, what will bring value to them. Not just a view count, but what brings value. So I put out different type. So about once a quarter, I put out an encouraging video. Those don't get views. Like, it's not like that's going to get millions of views, but it's to encourage people to chase their dreams or to follow their heart, or I feel that I am called to do that. Like I have a deep feeling of being called to help people. And so I know those videos don't get views. These live streams don't get the views, but they're beneficial to people. They bring value, and I enjoy them. They bring value to us. So
and the people that do watch them, the people that do hang in there and watch them, it means so much more to them than your average viewer watching your average video. I mean, and that means something too, because you do have to tailor to each individual. That I call them each individual percentage of your audience, right? Who are the ones that are watching all your organizational builds? That's the majority for me. Who are the ones watching my CNC stuff? Some people absolutely hate it. They don't do that great.
Right.
But there are comments of like, I cannot wait to see where your brain goes with this.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice to hear positive things about things that don't really have or aren't painted in the greatest light in this community. But the more time goes on, something like a CNC is going to become more commonplace. Not necessarily to do all of your job, but to do some of it. And some of it's okay. And honestly, I have worked my brain more than I ever would have thought designing things in a two-dimensional space, sometimes three-dimensional space for this than I ever would have thought.
Yep.
But I want to know one more thing about you real quick. I'm in the process of filming an outdoor project that's not going to probably come out until November, right? I'm redoing the entire front of my house.
Oh, wow.
So in terms of like putting a paver wall, planting cherry trees and palm trees and what's the other ones I got? What are they called? I can't remember. Bottle brush trees. And so to mitigate all the weeds and all that prep, trying to film in this heat, I've done a few clips already. I don't know if that's going to go over well. I really don't. And I'm going to invest a whole bunch of time in waiting and sitting on footage and finally getting it out. And who knows if it's going to do anything, right? Because if someone's like, get back in the shop and do the French cleats, will you? You know, I mean, who knows? So in terms of like, what videos do you think are outside your bubble that you might think about tackling? I'm curious to know.
So we've actually been talking about this. We've got an idea for a video. I don't want to give it away, but it's something like we've not done before. But I think it'll be really cool. It's a dog focused video, but it's not a dog video per se. You know, it's more of a dog project, and I think it'll do well. And then we want to do a makeover of the closet. We got a walk-in closet. We want to make it
it's a small closet,
but we want to kind of take it over the top and do it pretty cool. And then I'm also working on my workbench for my. And I know that this is still woodworking and more in the niche, but I'm building a workbench. I've had the same one since I started. It's just 2x4s and a piece of plywood on top. I've needed to remake it to more storage and make it more functional. And that video I've been working on for 4 or 5 weeks now, like just every day pecking away at it. And I've got footage stored back. I don't know how big this video, like I've got so much footage, I'm going to have to cram that down like we talked about a while ago to make a good video. But I've got something special planned for the workbench that I've not ever seen done before. And I'm really excited to do it. And tomorrow I'm actually going to start doing that. And I'm like nervous. Like, I don't know that I'll sleep tonight. I'm nervous and I'm going to screw up.
Is it going to work? How big is the bench?
It's a 4x8. It'll be a little over 4x8 by the time I put banding around the
It's beautiful.
But yeah, it's sharp.
How big's your workspace?
I got a 2-car garage.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is like a three-car garage. And I hardly have any horizontal space in here. I realized that I don't have much of a workbench to work on except like an armor tool bench and a little 2x4 foot. And I'm like, I need something bigger. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So maybe that's
my old one's 3x5. I'm gonna move it and put it under the CNC because right now my two Works Pegasus some little folding table or fold up portable workbenches are actually holding the CNC up right now. And I'm gonna move the old workbench under that. And then, so right now I've got 2 workbenches side by side, so I have no room in there.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's the beauty and the curse of this thing, of this whole makerspace, is that it is never ever going to be finished.
No,
ever.
No.
And that's okay. People ask me, "Are you sure you want to do this? I mean, what if you don't have any ideas coming up?" I said, "Look, man, I can always do a 2.0 version of almost everything I've already done, and it do just fine."
Yeah.
We did a 2.0 version of a noodle board.
Yep, I did. And I actually have an idea for a 3.0 version of that. So, I mean, things can just
Becca
evolve.
says to please make sure that your workbench video is not too short for the build that it is.
No, I won't cram it down. I think
awesome build
15 minutes or so. I think it'll probably wind up being at the end.
Sweet spot.
I have, so I've taken a new approach to videos over the last few weeks, especially since I've gone full time. I started watching other creators. And they're doing more voiceover work, where before I was actually talking through the whole video while I was working, and then I would speed up some stuff. So now I'm doing more voiceover. That is much, much easier to do video-wise because now I can just film it and speed it up or slow it down if I need to, and then talk over it. And it seems to work better. And I think I'm able to get my point across more and make more sense out of what I'm doing sometimes.
For sure. It's easier for me too. I can film while blasting music and no one ever hears it.
Yep.
You know, and there, I remember, again, I'll bring up Bob Claggett. He used to voice over a lot, and he slowly changed when he moved up to Kentucky into his grandfather's shop. He slowly changed to where no voiceover happened ever again. He would say what he was about to do and then do it. And then you would just hear music, and then he would back up and say what he was about to do again, and then do it in music. So, and if you notice, within that last 2 years, there's been no voiceover work on his channel.
Huh.
Mr. Jackie says a video that you could do that you've not done before. A nightstand for Mo.
Maybe one day.
I was laughing over here reading it.
Maybe one day.
He said he knew I was reading it.
I built a bed accessory for my daughter last night in the shop. I shop at IKEA a lot. I'm a woodworker and I like IKEA, but it was a big canopy for her bed, had dinosaurs on it and whatnot.
Aww.
And in order to make it work, you had to buy the bed frame that came with it, which was like 2x2 stock all the way around. Like, that's a joke. I could just make that when I get home.
Right.
So we layered up some plywood and I made this whole thing. And it turned out great, and this, that, and the other. I mean, I put bandsaw curves on it and everything. And the whole time I'm thinking I should be filming this, but I just don't think there's just enough meat there, you know? And maybe that's what the second channel's for. I mean, I have a second channel that is kind of, there's no expectations on that. So I might tell you about me trying to lose weight and me failing miserably. I got this series on there called Building a Better Maker, man. And it just, I did great for about, I don't know, a month, and then I just plateaued, and I'm like, tough for me, always has been. But that channel's cool, man. It's cool to have a different place to actually put, you know, content that I don't know if it's going to float or not. So, you know, I don't know.
Good deal. Well, man, I greatly appreciate you joining us tonight. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but man, we greatly appreciate it. Also, be sure to check the description below for anybody that wants to check out Chris's channel. Go check him out. He's got some great content over there. You can let them know where else they can find you.
Several people have gone and subscribed to you tonight. Awesome. In the chats. They've been talking about
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. And I'm on Instagram for sure. Mainly just YouTube and Instagram. I have a TikTok because I was told I needed to. Not much on there.
People are mean.
I can't.
Dude, TikTok is vicious, man. It's vicious. But,
and you never know what video may pop up and play. I mean, I'm in the middle of Walmart. I'm a school teacher and a Christian, and a video pops up, and it's like, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I know.
Get off of that.
What does your For You page say about you there?
Because I've never been on TikTok until my daughter got me to get on there right at the end of last school year.
First videos that started popping up,
and a video popped up and it was funny. I was like, oh, well, that's funny. And he told me, he said, you know, whatever video is playing, that's the kind of stuff that's gonna. And I was like, it was hilarious. It takes
if you watch the video to the end, like it learns, like, you know. And actually, there's a guy on there named Michael Jr. He's like a Christian-based comic. He's actually really funny. He's like, you ever got him friends that like Tuesday?
I'm scared to get back on it because I'm scared I'm gonna be somewhere and it's gonna pop. I don't know. I couldn't imagine. I would just have to like run and hide. And I'm not a shy person, but like I think I would crawl.
But there are people in our community doing really well there. Izzy Swan does really well on TikTok. Chad from Mancrafting, he's got over 100,000 something followers on there.
Oh, it's easy to grow. I picked up 10,000, whatever you call them over there. Not even trying. Like, I've just posted a few videos. Yeah, it's easy to grow, but it's finding time to create content for that platform is I don't have it.
Yeah, I got you.
Well,
all right, man. Thank you very much for joining us.
Very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, Chris.
Have a good night.
Take care, guys.
Okay, so really quick, let's do the states. And I know I'm going to miss a bunch, but I'm going to go ahead and call out the ones I have. We have Canada, Georgia, Indiana, Texas, Alaska, Delaware, California, New Jersey, Florida, Netherlands, New York, Michigan, Iowa, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Ohio, Minnesota, Connecticut, Missouri, South Carolina, Alabama, Virginia, Vermont, Arkansas. And thank you to all of you that are saying happy early anniversary to us.
Thank you.
North Dakota. Yes.
How long will it be?
Tennessee.
How long will it be?
21 years married, 22 years together.
So we met on July 31st, and then I convinced her to marry me 1 year later, July 31st.
It didn't take much.
It took me a whole
convincing.
year to convince her.
No, it didn't. Alabama. Greenbow, Alabama. Oh, Maryland, Tennessee. I'm seeing all those now. Georgia. I said
Dakota,
Georgia.
Bama.
Yeah. Thank
Tennessee.
you though to all of you that are remembering our anniversary, because it's really hard to remember that date.
Yeah, it is. I don't know what it is about that date. Trip Robinson question for Matt. Have you used polish shade before, and what are your thoughts on it? It seems like I did extremely early on, and I don't really have any thoughts because I don't barely remember it. So maybe it wasn't that. I don't know. I really don't know.
Stephanie, it was Stephanie's idea to bring Chris on,
Thank
which
you,
was
Stephanie.
awesome.
It was a good suggestion.
Stephanie, he knew who you were, so that was cool. Before we brought him onto the show, we talked to him for a few minutes, and I told him, I said, it was actually one of our viewers that recommended you, and he said, was it Stephanie? So
he immediately recognized me.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Congratulations, married man.
Blessed husband was born in Little What? Aw, 28 years for married man.
Look at there.
Whoop whoop. Yes, Stephanie, I'm serious. He did. He said, was that Stephanie? He asked where you were from, and we told him. But yeah, he knew exactly who you were. He actually said that you leave some of the best comments. That's what he said.
He said you teach a college course.
No, that she must have gone to college for comments because she leaves the best comments. I thought that. I said, yes, she does. Yes, he knew a little of you. Y'all, it's been like a 2 days of weeks of Mondays.
Yesterday was Monday all day. You hear me?
So really quick, because how many we have left on here? Like 180 of you. I got to tell y'all a little story about him real quick. And
Chris's YouTube channel is A Glimpse Inside. It's linked in the description.
Yes. So one of our dogs, and really, if any of you have any advice,
I knew you was going to tell this story.
You might could help.
I knew you was going to tell
it. Listen, y'all.
What happened was,
I love you so much. So our boy dog Coda, he's overweight. We took him to the vet. The vet said he's already gained another whole pound instead of losing. He's supposed to be around 9 to 11 pounds. He's 18.6 right now. So he was 17.6 last time we went. So if he eats anything after supper, in his sleep at night, he has something kind of pop out.
He got a turd leak out.
It pops out.
It sneaks out is what we say.
It sneaks out. But this is what he does. It'll sneak out while he's laying with Matt. After it sneaks out, he wakes up and he's like, ooh, that just came out. He gets out of bed, walks around the bed, and jumps up on my side and cuddles with me until morning.
And leaves me to cuddle with the turd.
So.
And I don't know it till I get up and it's stuck to my side and I had to peel it off of me. Or let me tell you this.
No, wait.
I can tell it good because it happened to me.
Go for it.
So I get up. I'm like, what's that smell? Did I offend? I get up. And I can smell it. So I walk into the bathroom, right? I get up early, go work out, whatever. So I walk in the bathroom, I'm like, I can still smell it. I'm like, my breath stink that bad. So I put extra toothpaste on the toothbrush because I thought my breath stank that bad. I brushed my teeth, and then I changed clothes all the way, underwear and everything. I change everything, and then I go work out. And I'm out for a run, right? It's like an hour later, hour and a half. I'm out running in the neighborhood. She calls me. She's like, where you at? She never calls me when I'm running. I'm like, why?
I said, no reason. I just want to know where you
I knew something was up then. So I come home, and not only is it a turd on my side of the bed, 2 of them, it's wet turds. And I didn't know it, and it was stuck to my drawers. So I go back in the bathroom where I'd taken them off and look, and it's just
the whole back side.
It ain't funny, y'all. This happens way too much. About once a week now. He drops the turd on my side and then goes to cuddle with her.
So we have to we have to put him on a diet because there's always a turd crowning at all points. So here's the thing. If he eats anything after supper,
he's like a gremlin. You can't feed him after supper.
It's going to sneak out. And so a couple weeks ago, After supper, Matt decided to give him a little bit of a snack. And I said, don't give him that. It's going to make them poop on you tonight. And he said, no, it's just a little bit. It ain't going to make them. Well, I just snorted. That's the morning where he woke up and the poop, it was stuck to his skin. He literally had to peel
like
it off.
Velcro. It sounded like Velcro when I tell you.
I'm sorry, Jessica Glenn. You just joined. You joined at an awful time, or maybe a great time. Woo!
Yeah, you probably didn't go back and watch about the last 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh, y'all! It was
tough. It was tough.
So I take him into the vet because somebody just said don't blame it on the dog. I take him into the vet, whatever day it was this week, and we walk in. He's on a leash, He's always crowning, and we walk in there, and he's standing beside me, and the vet is full that day. I mean, packed full of people. Dogs everywhere, people everywhere, workers everywhere. He's in there holding one dog. We're holding our grand dog. And then Coda's on the leash standing beside me. And a lady walks by and she's like, be careful, don't step. There's poop down there. And I look down and it's right where the backside of Coda's butt is. And I'm like.
He looks up like, what?
He looks up at me like, Mama, that wasn't me. Yeah, y'all. Anyway, so if you know of a good diet dog food for a dog that doesn't have teeth, because he's got to have soft food, it just got all wompy jawed up in here, Justin.
Yeah, y'all. I knew she was gonna tell this story. I knew she would.
Oh, we do love that dog, Robert.
We do.
But you know what? He never does it on me. So I mean.
Yep. Duct tape. Yes, I got some duct tape in the shop. He gonna have a bear strip across his rear when we pull it off every morning.
Oh my god! Not a liquid diet, no.
No.
Food. Becca said, best down. I can't even speak. Hands down, best story of the week. Holy crap.
Holy crap, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Y'all, it was smeared all over the back of his underwear. It was like, I don't think it was the dog.
Probably a good thing you didn't bring this up when Chris was on here. You
he may still be listening. Bless his heart. I'm sorry. Woo! Yes, we are gonna.
So introducing from 731, we got some dog poop coffee coming for you.
I'm sorry, y'all. I just had to share it.
She likes poop talk, if you ain't noticed. It's
always
coffee
like it
poop.
when he's on the receiving end. You make me mad. I'm gonna go give Coda a snack.
Yeah, that's right. All right.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, we've kept y'all way too long tonight, but thank you, Stephanie, for recommending Chris. Thank you, Chris, for coming on. I loved it. Thought it was great.
Thank y'all for joining us.
See y'all next week from the beach. We're gonna try it. We're gonna see how it goes. So we're gonna try it.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Night.
Later.